Hello, everybody. So, just wanted to walk you guys through here, taking a look at Method Soap. Wanted to see what kind of sales volumes they were doing and where their traffic was coming from. So, I did a just a little basic scrape. Just taking a look here. I like to use Jungle Scout. There's some other super fun tools as well. We're looking at a brand doing about $10 million a month, roughly. There across a couple of items. Some awesome volumes, right? So, I expected a brand like Method to absolutely be a market leader. One thing that's super interesting, though, take a look at brand analytics, looking at their market share for last month. It's actually interesting to me how few terms they are an actual market leader on. When I take a look at their entire catalog, right? Methods in the top three of conversion share for the month of January, for example, on 35 different search terms. Brand analytics does provide some awesome search frequency ranks here, and this is a really good gauge of uh, how valuable those search terms are, especially the lower the frequency. But we're always looking at the branded versus non-branded effort, right? Here on Amazon, when it comes to your PPC itself, you're really working on your non-branded efforts in general is like where we like to focus. The branded piece still really important to play defense. So we can take a look at something like Method Hand Soap, 15,000th most search term on Amazon. Their branded volume is so high that even their next highest volume non-branded search term that they're a market leader, such as hand soap foam, right, still has probably about 5x the volume that we see on something like hand soap foam. So branded wise, they're absolutely crushing it. We can see consistent market share across their branded terms. But what's interesting are some of these non-branded, right? A term like hand soap foam. You can see it's the 52,000th most searched term on Amazon. They made it into the top three, which is why they're showing up in brand analytics. But we can see the number one item here. It's actually from Bath and Body Works. Here, it's a 5-pack. You can see they took almost 8% of all sales, almost 15% of all sales for the entire month against that search query. So my next little investigative trick I like to do is go directly to Amazon, take a search for that term itself. And one thing that's super interesting that we see, at first I thought it was a price point play, right? It's kind of some sort of bulk action. But if we're looking at the fluid ounces, it's actually a more expensive item here. It's also really interesting taking a look at this listing itself. Not the highest quality listing. We're essentially just looking at a retail arbitrage guy. We can see, sold by executive warehouse. So we're not even dealing with, the individual brand itself. We can see the product images, not a ton of work put into it. Doesn't even have A plus content. Compared to some of the method, listings here, we can see there was definitely some thought put into the images. They're leveraging some text, some product um, bullet points and things like that. We do have A plus content. Theoretically, this should actually convert at a higher level, but we see a brand like Method, probably a little bit over dependent on some branded traffic, and as a result, something like a non-branded term, we can see, listing like this actually able to take more market share than Method was there. So really quick diagnostic tool. Always like to run this across the board for an entire catalog. Gives you a good sense of where your traffic's coming from, as well as a really great identifier of easy opportunities. So if I'm you Method and you see this, I would definitely recommend taking a look at some of your non-branded because there's definitely some opportunity. Really great job on branded volume. So for all those folks out there that are against branded volume, this is a brand doing $10 million a month. So not doing too shabby off that branded volume there. But there's always non-branded opportunities. Ultimately, 69% of searches on Amazon don't include a brand name. So it's really important to try and make yourself a market leader there. Thanks, and feel free to hit me up on LinkedIn. I'm Daniel Tejada from Straight Up Growth.